Hello everyone, welcome back to the course. Today in this video, we will be learning about transactions. Right, what are the different types of transactions? How to sign a transaction with your private key, and what is mining? Transactions are stored in blocks. A block is a set of transactions. A public record of all transactions that has ever been executed is known as blockchain. Transactions in blockchain are similar to the transactions between bank accounts. For example, me and you, I'm transferring a value to you, that means to your account. Here, when a transaction occurs in a general bank, a banking system, this transaction will be validated by the bank being the third party. In blockchain, this doesn't occur in the same way. Validation is done by miners here, so this eliminates the third party intervention. Blockchain transaction has from, to addresses, and value to transfer. These all are same when compared to general bank transactions. Apart from these, other options and parameters depends on blockchain and what kind it is. These transactions are also signed with transaction creator's private key. In a normal banking transaction, the signature is done by the person who initiates the transaction. Here in the blockchain, this is done by the creator's account's private key. So there won't be any signature with the pen or something. It's a digital signature. One might wonder now, banks are intermediaries for validation. Who validates blockchain transactions? Like I said before, you guys heard it. The miners validate the blockchain transactions. Miners are people with computational power enough to run a node. So anyone can become a miner. I can become a miner, you can, anyone can, if you have enough computational power. These nodes solve a mathematical puzzle to validate. To put in simple, they just solve the mathematical puzzle. What is public or private key? These two are different keys. Private and public keys are generated in pairs. Private key is like a password. It should be safely stored and it shouldn't be given to others. Well, if you trust them, you can. Public key is one which everyone has. So, private key mostly acts as a password, whereas public key a common key for other people to access. Transactions in blockchain are signed with the private key. Anyone who has the respective public key can decrypt this transaction. Why do you even need to encrypt it when private key is with you and the public key is with everyone? I'll give you an example here. If you sign a transaction with the private key, then the people who can decrypt it, the only one who has the public key, and everyone will be having the public key, but they can understand that it is encrypted, it is signed by you because only you have the private key, thus validating whether the transaction is signed by the authentic user or not. The next topic is mining. Bitcoin uses proof of work consensus mechanism. There's a difference between Bitcoin's consensus mechanism and Ethereum's consensus mechanism. Well, Bitcoin's consensus mechanism is proof of work. For Ethereum's consensus mechanism, what happens is there are two proposals, there are many more proposals coming, and Ethereum is planning to change its consensus mechanism, but we'll get to that later. For now, in proof of work consensus mechanism, like I said, whoever has the highest computational power can decide which block to add to the blockchain. What is proof of stake then? Well, proof of stake is nothing but in proof of work, the person or the node who has the highest computational power gets to decide. In proof of stake, the node which has the highest stake, that means the highest amount of coins, can decide which block to add to the blockchain. The main difference between proof of work and proof of stake is in proof of work, a node gets the authority by depending on the computational power. In proof of stake, it depends on the stake you have. Those are the two main differences. Like I said, whoever has the highest stake of coins can decide which block to add to the blockchain. Wait a minute, now what is proof of stake under Casper? Like I said before, Ethereum is planning to change its consensus mechanism. It is proposing proof of stake under Casper. It is kind of a hybrid, which is a mixed consensus mechanism. It hasn't been completely approved yet, but Ethereum will be planning to change its consensus mechanism soon in the future. For example, Casper is nothing but it depends on votes. The person who has the highest number of votes, I mean, the block which gets the highest number of votes will be added to the blockchain. It is same as proof of stake with voting. Hashgraph uses virtual voting. EOS uses DPoS. Many coins out there are present which uses other than Bitcoin or Ethereum's consensus mechanism. Currently in 2018, people believe that proof of work is completely outdated. In our next section, we will be discussing about how to build custom currency based on Ethereum.